Have you ever seen some of those incredible Minecraft time lapses and wanted to make your own? Well then, let me be the one to introduce you to the Flashback Mod. This incredible tool allows you to capture those perfect moments, create time lapses, and take beautiful cinematic shots. I use this in almost all of my videos and absolutely adore all of the possibilities that it opens up. Similar to the replay mod, you can use camera paths and a bunch of other features to help you enhance your Minecraft experience. And today, I'll be showing you all of the fun perks and things you are able to do with it. Before we continue, I'd like to clarify that this tutorial is for beginners learning how to use this mod. If you don't have Flashback yet, I would recommend you circle back to this video after you have it installed. I will do my best to cover the most essential parts of this mod, but if you find that I missed something or want clarification, please comment down below and I will try to answer your questions to the best of my capabilities. Now then, moving on with the video, I'll be splitting this tutorial into 3 parts. 1. Recording, 2. Customizing, and 3. Rendering. When you open Minecraft, you should notice a camera icon on the bottom right side of your screen. This is where you will find all of your flashback recordings. If you have multiple recordings, you'll be able to organize them by created date, replay name, world name, duration, and file size. You can also click the flashback options to find multiple settings that you can adjust. Personally, I would recommend leaving everything on default. However, if you already have your recording ready and are prepared to customize it, then feel free to skip ahead to the next part of this video. Alright then, let's begin with step 1, arguably the easiest, recording. Head on to any Minecraft world or server. For this example, I'll just go on my Let's Play world. Whether you're dealing with some cinematic shots, building something, or simply working on a task, the concept is pretty much the same. Once you're inside the game, just hit escape, and when this screen pops up on the side, you should see this button. Then go ahead and click it, and you should receive a message stating that you are recording. Back on the escape screen, you'll notice 3 buttons now. One to pause your recording, one to cancel it, and one to end it. An optional but fun thing you can try out to really enhance your video is to add on some shaders. While I personally don't use them often, they can provide a little bit of realism and add some beauty to the game. After you hit record, you're good to go. In my case, I'll be doing a tree chopping time lapse, so I guess I'll get started on that. Whenever you're done, just hit end recording, name it whatever you'd like, and click save. After that, leave the game and go back to the home screen. Now head back to the camera icon and your recording should appear there. Click on it and you should see something like this on your screen. And now we are officially on step 2, customizing. There are so many possibilities and options here that you can play around with and explore. However, today I'll be just covering some of the basic ones that I find important. On the right side here, you'll see a bunch of things that you can toggle on or off, or adjust in terms of visibility. Again, you can try things out and see what works best for you. I usually start off by removing my name tag and the entities. Personally, I find that removes a lot of the distractions from the actual time-lapse itself. It allows the viewers to pay attention to what's actually happening rather than watching mobs wander around the screen. Then I would also recommend that you set your weather to clear and make it always day. You can also try adjust the fog settings to be able to gradually remove part of the background so the focus is solely on your project. Now let's focus our attention to the top part of the screen. You'll see options for file, preferences, player list, movement, and render filter. Hide is basically your typical F1 feature. I usually don't mess around with these, but there are a few that can be handy from time to time. The render filter is helpful for removing a specific entity or item in the game. Player list can be used to select exactly which players are shown, which is helpful when you are playing multiplayer. And file is where you will be rendering and exporting your video. Now, if we look at the bottom left corner, this is where the magic happens. For a time-lapse, I usually use 2 different elements, the camera and the time-lapse features. You can add these in by clicking Add Element and selecting whichever options you like. Now, once again, there's a whole list of possibilities here and they each have their own function and purpose. But for today, I'll be using just 2 of them. Then see this white line with a triangle? You can either drag it or click it on certain parts of the video. This basically indicates what point in time you are at. Start off by dragging it wherever you want your video to start. Next, use your keyboard to move around and drag your mouse to choose your angle. Remember, this is where the camera will start. Once you have your location picked out, you will go to the camera and click the plus sign to add a keyframe. You should see the circle pop up on the timeline, and if you move, you should notice a floating rectangle as well. That is where your keyframe is set to. In this case, the camera being set here has a circle keyframe to demonstrate where it is and allow you to easily return to this point at any given time. Now, if you want your camera to stay in one place the entire time, you would want to get the exact same angle again for a second keyframe and place it at the end of your video. However, if you'd like there to be movement, find a new angle and pick a moment in the timeline where you want the video to end. Then go ahead and add another camera. You can go back and play your video by clicking this button here. It's looking good so far, but what if you want more than one transition? You can set multiple cameras to get even more views of your video. Now that we have something going here, it's time to add the time lapse. This one is extremely straightforward and easy. Just go to the first camera keyframe and hit the plus sign on the timeline element. You'll notice a little diamond appear, and then repeat that for your last keyframe. This box will pop up and insert how long you'd like your time lapse to last. If you play back your recording, you might notice that it is longer than the time you put down. Don't worry, that is totally normal. It will be your set time when you render it. Once you're happy with the results, click File and select Export Video. Most of these settings aren't too important, so you can leave them as is. I would personally recommend MP4 for video format and 1920 by 1080 for resolution. Then you can press Start Export, name it whatever you'd like within your files. Depending on how large the file is and the length, your export might be longer. However, generally it should be done pretty quickly. And then, congratulations, you've made it! Now you're able to select whether you want to watch your video or open it within your folder. And I guess let's see the final result. Pretty cool, huh? And that, everyone, brings us to the end of this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope this tutorial was even a little bit helpful. Again, if you're still uncertain about certain parts or have questions, leave them in the comments and I will do my best to answer them. If you enjoyed, please consider hitting that like button, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you all on the next one. Goodbye!